This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1623, Trouble with the 4% Rule by Jillian Johnsrud of JillianJohnsrud.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. This is a show where I read to you from the best personal finance blogs on the web, with the author's permission, of course. And if you're looking for some financially minded friends, check out the Facebook group I run called For the Fi Curious. This is a joint group between Optimal Finance Daily and the Economy Conference, which is an event I produce. In this group, we aim to inspire you on your path to financial independence. So I like to share interesting articles, quotes, and thought-provoking questions to ponder together. I'm also posting questions that come in from this show's listeners in the Facebook group. So it's a great opportunity to participate in the discussion and hear from other money nerds. Just search for Optimal Finance Daily and you'll quickly find the Facebook group called For the Fi Curious. Now I have a new author today, Jillian of JillianJohnsrud.com. I'll tell you about her after the reading, so let's get right to this post and start optimizing your life. Trouble with the 4% Rule by Jillian Johnsrud of JillianJohnsrud.com. Over the past 2 years, I've been in the unique position to talk with and consult dozens of people who are considering retiring early or are 1 to 2 years into their early retirement. Not glossy media coverage of how awesome early retirement is, but in-depth and private conversations. I love that people are seeking financial independence, but I have a bone to pick with the 4% rule. The history of the 4% rule is based on stock market calculations ran in different scenarios. The math is very compelling. No matter when you retire, you are safe to pull 4% of your stock portfolio and run very little risk of ever running out of money. I have 0% issue with the math behind the 4% rule. If only life were as simple as math. Therein lies the trouble with the 4% rule. It's all math and doesn't deal with how we feel when the rubber hits the road, the mindset and emotions. Here's the typical FIRE path, financial independence, retire early. Step 1, experience burnout or overwhelm with a job. Think to yourself, I can't do this forever, and in fact, I don't want to. Step 2, hear about FIRE, learn about the 4% rule. Step 3, step up your investing game and reduce expenses. Invest like crazy for 5 to 15 years. Step 4, get close to the 4% rule lump sum needed. Feel hesitant. Start rethinking this whole thing. Response 1, increase your number and push out the date. Or response 2, email me for help. The fundamental problem with the 4% rule. People who achieve FIRE are most often savers. In general, these 3 things are true. Number 1, they enjoy earning money. Payday is fun. Number 2, they like investing money. Investing brings joy. Number 3, they love watching those investments grow. They saved up this large lump sum so they would never have to work again. But here's what never work again looks like. Number 1, they aren't earning money. Sad face. Number 2, they aren't investing money. Sad face. Number 3, they're pulling money from investments, causing that balance to shrink. Really sad face. Going from working full-time to not working at all is a huge transition, and transitions deregulate us every time. It's why we're stressed when we start a new job, buy a new home, move across the country, or try to get all the kids out of the house in the morning. 95% of the time when I mentor people, it's to help with life transitions, because that's when we need help. Especially if the transition is optional. No one is forcing you to do this hard thing, and you can back out at any time. If your entire plan is based on the 4% rule, it looks like this. Willingly opt for this huge life transition while stopping 3 things you like earning, investing, and growing investments, and at the same time start 3 things you don't like, not earning, not investing, and shrinking your investments. I know people have spent years doggedly pursuing a FIRE plan solely based on the 4% rule, only to find out they don't want to pull 4% a year from their investments. In my work, I see this being less problematic for people 55 to 75 years old. Although, have you met the people freaked out about taking mandatory distributions at 70? Yep, it happens. For people 30 to 55, living solely on a 4% withdrawal freaks them the heck out when the rubber hits the road. Here's the order in which I see people happy about spending money. Number 1, happiest money spent is from pensions, earned income, Social Security, any fixed income, and house hacking. Number 2, tolerable money spent is from rental income, dividends, and interest payments. And number 3, unhappy money spent is from cash reserves and pulling from investments. What if we make a better and happier plan? You can have 100% confidence in the 4% rule and still not enjoy pulling out 4% a year. So what if you made a different plan? A plan that felt a little more palatable when the time comes to leave your 9-to-5 job. If plan A is amass a huge lump sum and pull 4% a year, what could plan B look like? Plan B often ends up being the better plan. It's more customized. It's more refined to your own goals and values. It's not one size fits all. It's a choose your own adventure plan. When the off-the-shelf plan A doesn't fit, it's time to look at plan B. Plan B takes some flexible thinking and some creativity, but in the end, it's a plan that you will pull the trigger on and enjoy. You just listened to the post titled Trouble with the 4% Rule by Jillian Johnsrud of JillianJohnsrud.com. And thank you to Jillian. 15 years ago, she and her husband were $55,000 in debt and have since paid off all of it, traveled to 27 countries, lived abroad for 4 years, took 5 mini retirements, and adopted 4 kids, plus had 2 biological kids. Jillian became financially independent at 32. Now her mission is to help people custom build a lifestyle that perfectly reflects their values, passion, and purpose. So come by JillianJohnsrud.com for a lot more, and I have that linked in this episode's description. If you liked this article, I would encourage you to head over to Jillian's blog and check out her other articles on what she's calling flexible FIRE. She talks about setting up multiple streams of passive and passion income that will allow early retirees to be less dependent on the 4% rule. It makes a lot of sense to me, especially when you think about the transition from saving and investing aggressively to flipping a switch and then not earning any more money and drawing down from investments. I'm not financially independent yet, but leaving my full-time job this year and living mostly off of savings has been pretty disorienting. I feel like I'm getting a taste of what it's like to retire early. So Jillian's outline of the money we're happy to spend and the money we're not happy to spend really resonated with me. I'm also reminded by this article again that personal finance is really personal. Just because others are retiring early with the 4% rule doesn't mean it's the only way to go about it. There are lots of flavors of FIRE that have been discussed in recent years, including BaristaFi, CoastFi, and I love Jillian's addition with Flexible FIRE. And if you'd like to hear more of Jillian's story and how she helps people pursue their unreasonable dreams, check out her speech from the Economy Conference last year on the Economy Conference YouTube channel. And remember, economy is spelled with an M-E, not an M-Y. Tickets for our next event this November in Cincinnati are available at economyconference.com and use code OFD for a 10% discount. That'll do it for today and another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a happy Thursday. Thank you for being here every day and listening. And I'll see you on the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.